Well, the impact of tariffs are starting to show up in the showrooms. New auto prices are rising and incentives are falling. LeBeau joins us right now with more. And ahead of a big weekend, we would normally see a lot of sales for Memorial Day, Phil.
I think we'll still see relatively strong sales. That's the expectation within the industry. The question becomes, when do we really start to see prices moving higher? Competition, because nobody wants to be the first one to raise prices, let's say, on a small SUV or a crossover utility vehicle, a really popular segment where someone could go across the street. Well, J.D. Power ran the numbers for the first half of May, and what they're seeing here, this portends what they're expecting for the rest of this year. Average price paid year over year up $825. The average incentive, which is what the automakers and the dealers use to sweeten the deal, to get you out the door so you can say, yeah, I got a good deal here. It's down $263 year over year. Inventory is still relatively strong, stands at about 56 days supply, but J.D. Power has told me they expect prices to rise, transaction prices, which is what you and I pay, another 5% between now and the fourth quarter. Here is the Chief Operating Officer of Toyota North America. When do we see prices go up?
Well, you've already seen some of them go up. You've already seen.
But widespread. Would you say June?
Absolutely. I think when you get to June or the end of June at least, you're going to see people they're going to feel the pressure and they're going to have to do it.
Mark Templin was very clear that they're trying to hold down prices as long as possible, largely because of competition. But at some point, the pre-tariff inventory of vehicles, it's going to burn off. And then the automakers, because others will start raising prices, because they have to raise prices, they will be raising prices as well. As you take a look at the auto shares or the shares of GM, Ford, and Volkswagen, remember, they're adjusting production due to the tariffs as much as possible, trying to build here in the United States. That's why, as you take a look at shares of Mercedes, look, they said they're going to be building one of their most popular vehicles that used to be or currently is imported from Germany. Now they're going to start building it in Alabama. It's going to take some time to tool up the plant for that production. But the bottom line is this, guys. This is the beginning of the creep higher in prices as long as the tariffs are in effect.
Phil, back to this weekend. People are anticipating strong sales. Will you be able to get any bargains if you're a consumer? Or is this what brings people in to say, OK, this is the weekend I really want to go ahead and say this is it?
Well, what's bringing them and what has brought them in, Becky, was, well, I got to buy something and I want to buy it before the prices really spike due to tariffs. That was the surge in sales that we saw in April and maybe a little bit at the end of March. But really, we saw that in April. There's probably some of that out there, Becky. But when you talk about bargains, we're nowhere. Gone are the days when you're going to see widespread 0% financing, big discounts on vehicles. The automakers are being more judicious about production. And because they've got to sit there and say, how do we adjust to the cost that we're paying? We don't want to say we're passing it along to the consumer. So we do have to pass it along in some fashion. You're just not going to see the deals that you once saw.